Taylormade M5 versus Taylormade M6. Which one's the best? Let's find out, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to my channel and this is your first time watching my content, make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button. My goal is to bring you guys daily golf related content that helps you raise your game, lower your handicap, and just enjoy your golf more. In today's video I have two of the hottest properties of 2019, the Taylormade M5 and the Taylormade M6 driver. If it was just a head cover comparison, I think we'd struggle to split them. But it's not. We have both the clubs here. I'm going to put them head to head on the launch monitor up here at Huddersfield, and we're going to see which one works best for me. Remember, this is a personal test. This does not necessarily mean one driver is better than the other. It just means one driver suits me better than the other. A few specs about these golf clubs. Now, I'm not going to go into the full specs because I have done individual reviews of these clubs and I will link those. So if you want to get your teeth more into the tech of these clubs, then make sure you go and watch those videos. But I wouldn't be doing my job as a reviewer if I didn't talk about the elephant in the room. Speed injected twist face. Now, having reviewed these clubs already and tested them both individually, I personally like it. I can see the advantage, I can see something working in there. Twist face, nah, it's pretty much unmeasurable, isn't it? But it's good to see Taylormade keeping it in this current range, because if they'd have taken it out, it would have just looked like a massive backtrack, wouldn't it? We also do have now twist face in the fairway woods. That's standard twist face, not speed injected twist face. We've not got that far just yet. But I must say, these fairway woods look stunning. So if you want to see a review of those, you know where you're going to find it. Anyway, so I'm going to test both these clubs. I'm going to set them both as close to 9.5 degrees as I can. I'm going to use the Hazardous Smoke 6.0 shaft by Project X. I do have the Atmos shaft in the M6, which is the standard shaft that it comes with, but to make it as fair a test as possible, I'm going to stick the Hazardous in them both. That's enough talking, I think. Let's do it, and let's do it now. So we're going to go Taylormade M5 first. I'm using Titleist Pro V1X practice balls, and to keep things as consistent as possible, I'm going to use a blood orange tee peg. That goes well, doesn't it? Now, in all seriousness, I do think these clubs look spectacular. I think the blood orange with the matte black and the real thin silver top line at the top just screams premium. But they are premium because they're quite expensive, aren't they? Let's hit some shots. Taylormade M5, what are you offering? Not the best swing to start things off with, but we can cope. That felt really good. Like, really, really good. Oh my gosh. Oh. That's like, I'm just, come here. I know this is like very unprofessional. Look how dark it is there. I know this is really unprofessional, but just look at this. Go through the lights. Sorry if it's blinded you there. That one. Yes, please. 2.8 spin, 165 ball speed, 111 club speed, 288 total. Now I don't even really care about the averages. That just I can see my bag as well. Just put it in there. So I think what we'll do during the course of this test, yes, we'll look at the averages, but we'll also look at the longest. It's really nice to know, if you get one, if you absolutely muller one, just how far it can go. And hitting fairways is overrated, isn't it? So why not? Again! Oh, I love this thing. Let's hit two more, then we'll give the M6 a go. I think this could be a close one. Oh, stop it. Oh. You see, and this is a really interesting one for me as well, because I have no bias. I don't really mind which one does well, because I could put either of them in the bag. They both look great. I do think the M5 does look a bit more aesthetically pleasing, or good looking in plain English, underneath. Underneath the hood, I think it looks a lot more stylish without that inertia generator. It's like a funny thing, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to go one more with the M5 and then we're talking M6. Can we get a 290? Which will be astounding for me. It's flying out of bounds left, but we're there. Let's take a look at the numbers for the Taylormade M5. Okay guys, numbers for the Taylormade M5. Let's go where you all want to look first. Distance. I must admit the first couple, they almost look like a warm-up, but I have been hitting balls all day, so that shouldn't really be the case. Averaging 280 on average. That is a long way for me, that, to be fair. Spin rates here on the left hand side, 5,000, 3,000, and then we start talking money. Then it starts dropping, and that is when we start really seeing the distances increase. Averaging spin rate 3,000. The M6 has a lot to beat. Let's get this hazardous shaft in the M6 head. Let's see if it can beat the 293 longest drive, and let's see how it copes against the 280 average drive. I'm going to keep that first drive in. I think it's only fair. I think I'm a person, this isn't machine testing, this is human testing, and it's really important to see how they cope on mishits. Just for a reference point as well, I have used this with all the weights in a standard setting. I haven't moved them forward to alter CG or anything like that. It's just set as it would be buying off the shelf. I always hate doing this. Job done. Let's get some balls hit and let's see how the M6 compares to the M5. Now looking down at this driver, it looks exactly the same. Maybe even a carbon copy, mind the pun. But how does it feel? In fact, it looks that similar on top. I have to keep checking I've got the right club in my hands. Taylormade M6. Inertia generator and all. Oh, that felt so good. Two pretty identical swings to start with, two very similar numbers as well, but nowhere near the 290 yard mark which I got with the M5. I think this might do it on average though. Just the forgiveness element of the head I think is going to help me. Almost feels a bit like Groundhog Day with this M6. Let's try and step on one and see if we can get that 290 mark again. Got it. Yes. Yes. And that was like an arrow. That's a dart, isn't it? Oh yeah. So one thing which is interesting me hugely here is the dispersion of the M6. I almost haven't missed a fairway yet with the M6, whereas with the M5, especially the one that I stepped on and tried to get that 290, you all saw it was low left, it wasn't a good golf shot, it was just a long golf shot. Anyone can smother a shot left, can't they? I'm sure we'll get that down in the comments. But that was dead centre. See, and that's really interesting. That was the miss hit that I hit with the M5, maybe not quite as catastrophic, but didn't feel like a good strike. The spins climbed up a little bit, but nowhere near like it did with the M5. So maybe if I was using the M5, I would have to have it with the weight forwards. That will be something that I'm going to test. I'm going to bring to you guys on a video. Okay, let's go one more M6. Let's take a look at the numbers, and let's have a round up. Another real high spin one there to finish on. We're going to have to look at these numbers closely and see which one I can fit into. Although I must say, both drives on both parts do feel very, very good. They both look fantastic, and I think if it had to come down to it, let's take a look at the numbers before I give you my final decision. Okay guys, so numbers with the Taylormade M6. You can see there the number 4 was the best one, wasn't it? 291, that was right down the centre of the fairway as well. All the other ones, not bad. I sort of finished slowly here, whereas I started slowly with the M5. Spin rates, all in the 2s, which is nice to see there, apart from that last one. Ugh, although still not as bad as the first one with the M5. So ball speed average, 160.8, that's down on the M5. It was 163 with the M5. Total distance, 280. Exactly the same as with the M5. Exactly the same. Wow, exactly the same. Longest drive 291, so 2 yards behind the M5. Not a massive difference, is there? Average spin 2,700, whereas average spin with the M5 was 3,000 in total. So I know what you're thinking there, guys. It's like splitting hairs, isn't it? Both very good drivers, both look like they suit me. I think the hazardous shaft definitely looks to suit me as well. I think if the Atmos shaft was in the M6, we might see a little bit less ball speed and a little bit more spin with the M6, so maybe that would have played a part. But I always think it's nice to test things in as similar conditions as we can, so putting the hazardous smoke 6.0 in both heads just seemed like the logical thing to do. Which one would I have? Obviously the M5 gave me a longer drive by 2 yards, and on average they were both exactly the same. I would go M5 purely because, and this may sound a little bit ridiculous, but purely because of the aesthetics on the bottom. Every time I take the head cover off the club, I want it to look nice. I want it to be a desirable club. And yes, don't get me wrong, the M6 looks great, it looks fantastic. On top, it looks exactly the same as this, and it looks beautiful. Underneath, the inertia generator just kind of throws me off a little bit, and I don't know what it is. That's a personal thing. I'm sure other people will feel the same, and other people will disagree and say that it's a load of rubbish. But I would go for the M5. Average is pretty much exactly the same, and both awesome golf clubs. Guys, let me know, what do you want me to compare these two next? Guys, I've been James Robinson. I'm here at Huddersfield Golf Club. I really hope you've enjoyed that comparison. If you have, smash that subscribe button. If you're not already a subscriber, put the thumbs up, comment below. Which one would you choose? See you soon.